Dr. St. Georgi, back then still a Nobel Prize laureate, when the Nobel Prize still meant something, once said, "Since the molecular structure of water is the essence of life, the person who manages to make this structure available in cellular systems will change the world. So, the person who can make this structure usable in cellular systems will change the world. And that person is standing next to me." This is Michael Linz, by now a very good friend. And I must say, I admire what they've accomplished, because this is a world sensation. It doesn't exist in the USA, it doesn't exist in China, it basically only exists with us.
First of all, a very good day to you all. Michael Linz, co-partner and founder of Alps Pure GmbH, based in Austria. There are 6 partners in total, and I had the privilege of getting to know and appreciate this entire project, and I'm very grateful to be standing here today next to, for me, the most knowledgeable water expert in Europe. Of course, we're talking about major figures like Gerald Pollack as a researcher. But when it comes to water knowledge, I believe the man to my left is number 1. And thank you for the opportunity to even communicate with him. We've come to know each other quite well and developed a strong mutual appreciation. Thank you so much.
A slight exaggeration, but never mind. By the way, for anyone seriously interested in hexagonal water, I can recommend a small booklet. This one here. It's called Hexagonal Water, The Key to Health by a Korean researcher, Dr. Moochie Kyon. It's truly a wonderful book with a wealth of detailed knowledge. It may look like a children's book, but I recommend it to everyone. I would even recommend it to every doctor. It really gets to the core of hexagonal water. And you'll find statements in there such as, "We could prove what many have long suspected, that drinking hexagonal water not only improves hydration, enhances nutrient absorption, increases metabolic efficiency, and supports the removal of toxic waste, but also helps dissolve the rigid patterns that have hindered our enlightenment. Hexagonal water may not only be the key to our health, but also to the next stage of consciousness." And now, this is becoming available to everyone. Up until now, there have been various attempts to create hexagonal water structures. Most of these methods, let's say, are relatively short-lived. For example, with water swirling, with vortexes, you can't even be sure that the water still has hexagonal structures by the time you drink it. But no one had really gotten much further than that. And Michi and his team have managed to produce a light water gel that maintains these hexagonal structures, plus a very high pH value, extremely alkaline, around 12.5, and a redox potential of -400 to -500 millivolts, and it stays stable for years. And with just 1 squirt of this gel, contained in a small bottle, you can make a whole liter of water hexagonal, without any extra fuss, without any huge effort. It's super easy and even travel-friendly. So, now you can have the healthiest water on the planet wherever you go. And you're going to show me what this gel can do. It's absolutely amazing and, most importantly, affordable for everyone. Show us what it can do.
I believe it's also highly beneficial for cellular health.
This is just regular water here.
Yes, we're taking 2 glasses.
By the way, they were provided here at the water lab of Michael Müller. For me, the #1 expert in water knowledge on the island of Mallorca.
Now you'll see, we let the water sit briefly. That means the water structure is forming now. It's also thixotropic, meaning if I were to destroy the structure later by stirring, it would reform once it settles again. And it keeps doing that. A huge plus. It's also very cell-permeable water. We'll demonstrate that later. Now we begin with a drop of methylene blue. You'll now see that in the glass, without Alps Pure's structure gel, the methylene blue binds with all the water clusters. So the glass will turn entirely blue in the next few minutes. And in the other glass, where the gel is present, the structure is such that the dye sinks to the bottom due to gravity and sometimes even gets stuck in between, because the water clusters have become so structured and sticky with each other that no gaps remain. In other words, the clusters are now structurally locked in place. This would only dissolve again through movement. If you stir it now, it's over. I think the difference is very clear. And you'll also feel it when drinking. The natural sensation of thirst returns very quickly, and you end up drinking more.
I once had a case with a seriously ill person who, for the first time in his life, drank hexagonal water. He drank 3 liters without needing to go to the bathroom afterwards. That's how dehydrated he was. Normal water tends to form clusters due to its dipole nature, resulting in large clusters. And these large clusters are not cell permeable because aquaporins, the small openings in cell membranes, are too small for those big clusters. Hexagonal water, due to its reduced surface tension, is absolutely perfect in that regard. It's also ideal as a transport medium for all kinds of nutrients. And hexagonal water carries 44% more oxygen to the human body. That equates to more, let's say, energy. And for athletes, that makes a huge difference. They experience significantly delayed lactic acid formation. So this is really the holy grail of health. And here, you can clearly see how these hexagonal structures change the mixing behavior of the methylene blue. That alone is undeniable proof. Show the part about the reversible properties too. Let's see. Gel form, shake it, and it becomes liquid. That impresses me every single time.
So, when you slowly drip it onto your hand, you'll see the gel coming out. You can see it here. It sits right on top. You can even taste it, no problem. But when you pour it out quickly, it becomes liquid. And the moment it's no longer under pressure, it returns to this thixotropic gel form. I think that's one of a kind.
Practically magician-grade material.
Yes, absolutely. It's also a huge advantage because it can mix with any plant-based oil. It forms an emulsion. So you could make a chemical-free body cream, for example.
What I do at home. I take high-quality olive oil, add a drop of the gel, mix it up, and apply it to the skin. It absorbs instantly. There's no greasy residue or oily film. It's absolutely ideal for transdermal delivery of active ingredients, especially where the skin is thinnest, say over veins or arteries. If you put the right substances in, it's unbeatable. And you don't need any artificial ingredients to mix water, or rather this highly structured hexagonal gel, with oil. It stays mixed. You don't need emulsifiers, no synthetic additives.
It's 96.3% water and 3.7% salts. That's exactly what's found in the hexagonal structures within our cells, and nothing else is in there. There's nothing included that's not listed. A lot of things you don't need to explain. This is one of them, because it explains itself.
And especially interesting. Just one splash structures about 1 liter of water into hexagonal water. As mentioned, it has an extremely high pH value. Extremely alkaline, between 12.5 and 12.7 in recent tests. 12.7 on one side, and then there's the redox value of -400 to -500 millivolts. That's incredibly important for neutralizing free radicals. Briefly on hexagonal water itself, it's extremely cell permeable. Optimizes the flow rates of all bodily fluids. For instance, in blood, red blood cells tend to clump together. That leads to poor oxygen delivery. Hexagonal structures immediately stop that clumping. You can prove that with dark field microscopy. Also, due to its high redox value, it has the maximum potential to neutralize free radicals throughout the body. Dr. Patrick Flanagan, an American researcher, even said, hexagonal water is the strongest antioxidant in the universe because it's full of free electrons. So let's say the advantages of hexagonal water are immense. And another key finding is this. All healing waters on Earth, wherever they are, have been shown to be hexagonal. How was that discovered? All healing waters have an absorption peak at the light frequency of 270 nanometers. And that wavelength is significant. It stimulates rapid mitochondrial regeneration, mitogenesis, and supports vitamin D3 synthesis. You can use this test to determine whether a water is truly hexagonal, if it has that 270 nm light absorption peak.
That's another big advantage. This water has been proven to have 6 times higher light absorption.
That's another key point. Recently, I've been studying biophotons extensively. This field goes back to Professor Fritz Albert Popp, who showed that communication between cells and organs must happen faster than biochemical signals. Faster than the speed of light even. It can only happen via biophotons. And today, we're lacking biophotons. We receive photons from the sun, and living organisms emit biophotons from them. The key is how many biophotons we can store for optimal cellular communication. Mitochondria, for example, attach to the second adenine chain in ATP, our energy molecule. Biophotons enrich the cells energetically and enable communication. That's a crucial factor. And six-fold photon enrichment and storage capacity naturally optimizes cell communication and energy production throughout the body. It's like solving 20 problems with one blow. We solve issues.
Exactly. What's your take on detox and cellular longevity?
Yes, when I have hexagonal structures. Let's first talk about energy. Mitochondria are amazing entities. We have about 200 quadrillion of them in the body. They have rotary pumps running at about 100 revolutions per second, 6,000 RPM, producing 3 ATP molecules per second. But if the surrounding fluid environment isn't ideal, it becomes much harder. If I have hexagonal structures, I have an optimal fluid environment. They work more efficiently. And as Dr. Gerald Pollack proved, hexagonal structures form liquid crystals, the fourth phase of water. They create charge separations, forming what he calls exclusion zones. These always form at membrane interfaces, and these zones provide immense health benefits. Atherosclerosis, the leading cause of death today, starts with plaque formation. If I have hexagonal structures on arterial walls, they're so tightly packed that plaque formation is physically impossible. That's point 1. Point 2. These exclusion zones are highly negatively charged. They attract all positively charged particles, primarily toxins, but those toxins cannot penetrate because the structure is too dense. Outside of this, there's a positively charged bulk water layer. So positive meets positive. They repel. This supports detox processes optimally and prevents new contamination. If I have optimal cellular water structure, my metabolism is optimal. Cells divide less often because the environment is healthy. When the environment is toxic, especially in connective tissue, nothing works. We have more connective tissue fluid than blood, around 10 to 12 liters, and it becomes a waste dump. When that clogs up, the body's basic regulation fails, and we get secondary symptoms. Anything from tinnitus to who knows what. If the regulation works, and the matrix quality is good, then we live longer and healthier. Cells have more energy, better metabolism, and detox more efficiently. Hexagonal structures benefit the entire body. You also maintain high membrane potential, electrical potential across the cell membrane, because hexagonal structures stop over-acidification. They're strongly negatively charged. Today, 80–85% of people say they're over-acidified. Hexagonal water can solve that. Why is over-acidification bad? Let me explain. It's too important. Over-acidification occurs due to H3O+ ions, hydronium ions. When you have many of them, they all resonate the same way, causing constructive interference. This creates a strong amplitude that prevents hormones and enzymes from unfolding into their functional 3D structures. If they can't function, you're in trouble. But when acidity drops, the 3D structures form correctly, and intracellular fluid becomes gel-like. That gel consistency helps maintain ionic gradients across the membrane. When you have high membrane voltage, the cell cannot become cancerous. So, you're also protected against cancer, prevention. And prevention is not a priority in the current healthcare system, unfortunately. So, all in all, a world sensation. Fantastic that you exist, that this is now available for purchase. It's affordable for everyone. It's for animals, for people, for plants. One of the most important things nature has ever offered us. Many people don't know this, but in evolution, our foundational water used to be highly swirled from springs, glaciers, and exposed to the sun. It still had structure. We've forgotten that. Tap water today is dead, unstructured, not alive. And the latest water research says, water is a living organism with its own intelligence, with its own consciousness. New research by a New Zealander named Veda Austin shows this. She communicates with water, and water responds. She demonstrates this through images of water crystals. So today, we must accept, water is a living organism. Water is intelligent.
Water is intelligent.
And the most intelligent water, I would say, is hexagonally structured water.
I'd agree.
We probably don't need to add much more. I think that was a lot of information. Thank you so much.
Thank you as well.